Right now, it feels to you like your life is a continuous and absolutely stable process. You breathe, you think, you make plans for tomorrow, and the cup of coffee in your hand feels solid, tangible, and completely real. You look in the mirror, and you are certain that the person looking back is the one and only you. But the cold, hard scientific truth is that you have already died. Several times today. And this quantum splitting of reality is the only reason why you are still alive. To understand why your death is merely an illusion to everyone else, we have to look into the very foundation of our universe, into a realm where our familiar laws of physics simply cease to apply. In classical physics, everything is simple and predictable. If you flip a coin, it lands on either heads or tails. But at the level of elementary particles, things are completely different. On the screen right now is quantum superposition. As long as we aren't observing a particle, it doesn't choose a single state. It exists everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. An electron doesn't orbit a nucleus in a clean, solid path. It exists as a probability wave. It is simultaneously here, there, and in a million other locations at once. But what happens when a scientist in a laboratory attempts to measure this particle? Enter the famous wave function collapse. The moment an observation is made, nature acts as if it's startled by our camera and instantly selects just one version of reality out of millions of possibilities. This is precisely where the greatest mystery of 20th century physics lies. Why does our observation force the universe to choose? And where do all the other unchosen possibilities go? To answer this question, Austrian physicist Erwin Schrödinger devised his famous thought experiment. Yes, the legendary Schrödinger box. Imagine a sealed steel chamber. Inside is a cat, a vial of poison, and a radioactive atom. If the atom decays, a hammer shatters the vial and the cat dies. If it doesn't, the cat lives. The laws of quantum mechanics state, while the box remains closed, the atom is in a superposition. It has both decayed and not decayed at the exact same time. Which means, to the outside universe, our cat is simultaneously dead and alive. Common sense screams at us that this is absurd. We open the box and see either a living or a dead cat. No magic involved. But what if nature doesn't choose anything at all? What if the wave function collapse simply doesn't exist? In 1957, a brilliant young American physicist named Hugh Everett proposed an idea that shocked the scientific community. He declared, quantum mechanics isn't lying, and particles truly do not select just one state. Take a look at the screen. This is the many worlds interpretation. Everett mathematically demonstrated that at the moment of any quantum event, the universe does not collapse into a single outcome. Instead, the universe itself fractures into pieces. Every single time a quantum choice occurs, we get a universe splitting. Let's return to our cat. The exact moment the Geiger counter is supposed to detect the atom's decay, reality splits into two equally valid branches. In the first universe, the atom decayed, and the scientist mourns their pet. But in the second, parallel universe, the atom remained intact, and the cat calmly continues drinking milk. On screen right now, branching timelines. Now, just think about the sheer scale of this. Your body is made of octillions of atoms. Every fraction of a second, billions of quantum interactions are happening inside you, inside your brain, in the air around you. This means that every microsecond, our universe is spawning infinite parallel universes. You are not a single, unbroken line from birth to death. You are an unimaginably vast, endlessly growing tree of reality. In one branch, you are watching this video right now. In another, you clicked away 5 seconds ago. In a third, you chose an entirely different career path and live on another continent. But how does all of this connect to the claim that you've already died today? This is where the many worlds interpretation collides with the most terrifying thought experiment in the history of science. And its name is quantum roulette. In the late 1980s, physicists Hans Moravec and Bruno Marchal And later, the renowned cosmologist Max Tegmark decided to look at Schrödinger's experiment from a completely different angle. They asked a simple yet bold question. What if, instead of the cat, the experimenter steps inside the sealed system themselves? Imagine this futuristic visual, sci-fi quantum chamber. Imagine a transparent research capsule connected to a quantum sensor measuring the spin of a photon. If the spin is up, the generator emits an energy pulse that instantly and painlessly interrupts the observer's existence in that specific reality. If the spin is down, the system simply powers off. A quiet tone chimes, and you step out of the capsule completely unscathed. The odds are exactly 50-50. We are looking at the famous quantum survival test. The experimenter initiates the test. What does an outside observer see from outside the lab? After the first attempt, there is a 50% chance the scientist will disappear from their reality. After 10 attempts, the probability that the experimenter remains in this branch to the outside world is less than 0.1%. To the entire external universe, this experiment has an almost zero chance of success. But now, let's shift our perspective into the mind of the experimenter themselves. Focus on the screen. Subjective consciousness. What do they experience? With every activation of the system, the universe splits into two equal branches. In one branch, the pulse triggers, and the experimenter's consciousness in that world instantly ceases. They cannot perceive their own absence because there is nothing left to do the perceiving. Consciousness is physically incapable of existing in a state of "I am not." Therefore, the subjective experience of the experimenter will always, with 100% mathematical inevitability, continue in the one and only branch of reality where the generator misfired or registered a spin down. To themselves, the physicist will repeatedly hear only the safe tone, test passed, 100 times in a row, or 1,000,000 times. In their own eyes, they will become an absolutely, hopelessly immortal observer. Now let's translate this to your everyday life. Why did I say that your storyline is unbroken? Because every single day we face unnoticed microscopic risks. A tiny random chance, a micrometeorite in the atmosphere, an unseen glitch in your cellular biology, a reckless driver who missed you by a single millimeter at an intersection. Visualize this. Traffic intersection near miss. In billions of parallel universes, that random chance brought your storyline to a halt. Your copies in those branches no longer observe the universe. But you are only capable of perceiving yourself in the branches of reality where the odds played out in your favor. You are watching this video right now simply because your consciousness continuously and silently glides along the lines of the multiverse where you survived. This is quantum immortality. Sounds like a superpower, right? But there is a dark side. Quantum immortality guarantees survival in instantaneous risks, but it doesn't protect against aging. Physics ensures your branch of existence doesn't snap, but it doesn't guarantee eternal youth. With time, the living branches become scarce. Your consciousness could be trapped in an endless chain of accidents, keeping a spark of life in an aging body. This is not a gift, it's a potential quantum trap. Also, this is just a theory. The main barrier is quantum decoherence. Tegmark noted, for success, death must be instantaneous. In reality, biological processes are gradual, and quantum laws dissolve into the thermal noise of our cells. It is elegant math, not a guarantee of immortality.